Shalom, Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that puts this great gospel with sincerity and truth. It's Shabbat Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone to the Annapolis camp. Coming down another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord will it be edifying. Got an article from The Guardian, and it reads, Global Development Starvation being used as a weapon of war in South Sudan, report reveals. International community urged to intervene as hundreds of thousands forced into refugee camps as homes and crops destroyed and aid workers attacked. This came out Friday, November 25th, 2022, the year Yahweh Bashimashai turned it up. And it reads, starvation is being used as a weapon of war by South Sudan government forces against their own citizens, an investigation has found. It says deliberate starvation tactics used by government forces and allied militia and by opposition forces are driving civilians out of their homes, exacerbating Africa's largest refugee crisis, according to the report published on Thursday. It says all parties. What did that say? But it says all parties to the conflict have committed widespread human rights abuses and violations of international humanitarian law, said the report by law firm Global Rights Compliance. The report is the first to call on the international community to intervene by demanding that starvation crimes in South Sudan are recognized as violating international law and that perpetrators of war crimes are brought to justice. Starvation tactics include the large-scale and systematic burning and razing of homes and property. Right? And I just want to point that out. Hey, just like what's been going on around the world, a lot of these warehouses, these storehouses of food, these plants, these food plant where these food plants or warehouses, whatever the case may be, they all been set ablaze somehow mysteriously. I guess the cow kicked over the lantern in the barn. But so that's going on around the world as well. Just like how they're speaking of this, and then also what a lot of animals have been killed. I think I just seen today it was another 1.7 like egg laying chickens were cold or put to death, so to speak. So just speaking in the broad scale what's going around the world. Understand this is talking about South Sudan, but this is a practice that is currently being used around the world, but that's going to be even more of a widespread to happen, because you got to understand what it said earlier. It said that the government is doing this. Now, if you put two and two together, you see what's going on around this place with the shelves being empty and all this and that, and truckers stopping and all this, and these labor unions, people on strike and all this and that. Hey, the same systematic, starvation or famine is going on over here as well. But nonetheless, going back and say destruction of food, crops, and markets, and targeted attacks on humanitarian aid workers. The devastation has forced hundreds of thousands of civilians to flee, mainly to refugees camps in northern Uganda. Alex De Waal, executive director of the World Peace Foundation at the Tufts University and an expert on the Horn of Africa, said starvation crimes perpetrated by South Sudanese government forces are well documented. Recently, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights and researchers have been recording crimes and seeking accountability, he said. And then another thing too, I remember seeing over here in Babylon, not only are all the farmlands being bought up by, the gates of hell, but but also what they I seen videos of them just like they get like all this milk, all these gallons of milk, or thousands of gallons of milk or whatever. They just leaking it all out, on the ground. You see what I'm saying? Like they doing stuff like that, shutting down not only burning down the food plants and stuff like that, but just shutting them down anyway, indefinitely. Taking away from the food production here in the country. So these are, small, well, it's going to be a heavy thing, but these are some things that are happening that people are not paying attention to. But your attention span is, it's called to things that don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bread and circus over here really do a number on the people, on the Babylonians, especially you 2/3. Like, you just don't know what's going on. Hey, Joe Sixpack don't either. He don't know either, but some of them whistleblowers, they do. Give them credit, but ain't nothing they can do about it. They gonna still fall by all the perils that's gonna happen to this place. But just if you paying attention to what's going on around you, being circumspect, right? The same thing that's happening in these other countries is happening over here. It just hasn't hit you yet. But as we know, as all these prophecies are going to be, just like the main prophecy, but all these prophecies are going to be as a thief in the night. Because why? You're going to be caught unawares because you're not paying attention. You're not watching what's going on to the things that matter, right? It says there's a real hope that there may be a first ever persecution at either the South Sudan High-Risk Tribunal or an international court for the war crime of starvation, bringing the South Sudanese culprit to the dock, said they were all. The creation of a hybrid court was announced by the South Sudanese government in January 2021, but it is not yet in operation. South Sudan gained independence in 2011, but entered a protracted and bloody civil war in 2013. Right? And they've been talking about that. It's going to happen over here, too. All these gun sales rising up, so bullets, ammunition rising up. You got the Proud Boys and, these, the new Black Panther and all these other groups, they tensions are heating. I guarantee you, hey, a great thing to use to, have tensions rise is what? Withhold the food and have people, angry due to their hunger. I heard some people they call it hangry. They hungry and angry at the same time. Yeah, that can cause civil wars, bloody civil wars, social wars, so forth and so on. Right? A lot of things can contribute to the wars and rumors of wars that nation against nation, as the scripture speaks of, that we're gonna get, Lord willing. But it says the UN has documented horrific cases of what mass rape, sexual slavery, and executions. Yeah. There continues to be outbreaks of conflict. The country has also experienced severe flooding and drought. Right? So, yeah, Yahweh Shemashai is most definitely visiting that place, as well as other parts of the earth as well. It says, according to the UN, the threat to human life and the risk of famine has never been higher. Man, unprecedented. But as I done read these previous, past famine-like scripture, not scripture, but Salakia articles, and they always say each and every year famines of biblical proportions are going to come to pass. So it's no surprise to me, and not, of course, not to the men of the Lord, because it's prophecy. It's gonna happen. But as far as the people who are not unaware, it's gonna hit you. It's gonna hit you hard, and you're gonna be through. So say nearly 8 million people are believed to be facing acute food insecurity, and that's only talking about over here in this situation in South Sudan. That means these people are on the verge of literally starving to death. At any given day, they can drop dead from starvation, malnutrition, right? They immediately need to have food. That's what that means. It say we are really disturbed by soldiers, the very people who should protect civilians. One woman told researchers, we have seen an increase of cases of looting. Even when people are raped, they are also robbed of money and food. And what you think gonna happen over here when those Gurkha troops and the UN troops and they get let loose over here? When the FEMA, get let loose over here, all those other, troops of different nations come over here, don't speak your language. All they know is to shoot, kill, or give out orders and do this and that. What you think is gonna happen over here as well? It's definitely gonna happen on a greater scale over here. So this is a foreshadow of things that's gonna come to pass over here, especially in Babylon the Great. Right? It says they are also robbed of money because they're gonna be like madman, sparing none. You know. But it says, we understand the soldiers are looting because they have not been paid for months. Like, hey, mutinies can go, they say they had to get to losing their damn mind and, doing stuff like this. They're also robbed of money and food, Salakia. We understand the soldiers are looting because they have not been paid for months. Mad. Hey, we got families too, That's going to be the mindset of people. What does the government expect if they give their unpaid servants guns? Yeah, lose their damn mind. It's a Yasmin Suka, chair of the UN Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan, said, the people we meet tell us repeatedly that the only way the killings, rape, and sexual violence, looting, and pillage will stop if those responsible for the violations are held criminally accountable. Impunity for these serious violations since 2013 has got us to this desperate point where most South Sudanese are unable to feed themselves and rely mainly on humanitarian assistance. And the main ones who's supposed to be in charge of your humanitarian assistance, who Esau, Edom, they don't give a damn, right? It's so you definitely threw, hey, you don't trust in this nigga. It's South Sudan is the deadliest place for humanitarian aid workers. Since 2013, 130 individuals have been killed while delivering aid and services. The vast majority of them South Sudanese nationals, according to the UN. What's this? Medicine Sans Frontiers and the World food program were forced to suspend the supply of food, healthcare, and drinking water to civilians after their workers suffered violent attacks. So like I said again, keep in mind, put it to your mind, say if that was happening over here, people were looking for care packages, they've been there to eat for this long and that long, and then finally these people come to help. Man, they're gonna be doing the same thing to them. They ain't gonna be trying to wait and comply with sit in line and bring your bag and everybody get this. No, people gonna be out there to get you. Can't think logical because when that hunger sets in, man, they get to lose their mind, get to hallucinating, and they see you, picture you like a big ass turkey walking by. They can come jump on you like the cartoons used to show. But this is like I said, these things we read this, people look at it like, oh well, that's happening over there. Oh, it'll never happen over here. We're more stable. We're more this. We're more that. But the prophecies of Yahweh Bashim Shai has a great judgment, great calamities to happen over here, and Babylon the Great. Right. So again, this is starvation being used as a weapon of war in South Sudan. Reports reveal, and that's gonna be used in various places of the world. But let's see. Let's hit it. This second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, right? The people of Yahweh Shemashai, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the speckled bird who look like the heathens because we are scattered amongst them due to transgression against Yahweh Shemashai via the curses that was put upon us to be scattered amongst them. So say, speak the words of prophecy, which prophecy means to say before. So speak the things that happen right now before they do happen. Right, which I would put in like mouth say if you have Bashim Shai. So, what does that mean? We tell you something before it happened. What is that called? It's called a warning. Right, Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. So say, I have made thee. So it's Yahweh Bashim Shai have made. He have appointed. He have hired a select group of men, a select number of men to do what? To do his bidding, to warn his people, to ultimately to warn the elect. Yeah, we speak to the whole world as far as what's going to happen due to, pursuant to what Isaiah 34, prophesying to the nations, to everybody. But the main message is going to, the elect, because they are the ones who are going to take heed and listen to this and be saved out of those perilous times anyway. So it says, I have made thee a watchman. Let's get a little word real quick. So we got watchmen. What's a watchman? What they do properly is to peer into the distance, by implication to observe, await, behold, look up, watch, to look out or about, spy, keep, watch, observe. So the men of the Lord is watching out for the flock. That's what we're supposed to be doing. They say that's why I say I have made thee a watchman